How we doing, everybody? Friday fun day. Gotta set up some of my levels here going into the day. Let's see, previous day low here was down at these lows. Right on open. Okay, previous day high. We are looking at 1500, potentially being the high of the day. Although I don't like that. I want to say the normal previous day high was there. Then we had the absolute rip city aftermarket. And now we're looking at this overnight low. We'll call the normal overnight low right here. Let's do that. Absolutely, I left her there. Got to get on and stream and trade and make some money. She's over there at the golf course again today. I'm going to do a quick stream. Probably look to catch something early and get out. I'm brewing a little coffee here. Give me a second. Pour over Fridays here. All right, looking at this S&P chart. Normal high, normal low. It seems like it's been balanced. The S&Ps as far as that's concerned. Previous day low. I was not on the charts yesterday, so I did not catch any of this dump, any of this rally. I was out and about doing some coffee business stuff. So right now I'm looking at what kind of action we're looking to see right here on the open. Based on this giant rip up here, I'm guessing we got some news, let's see. PCE data was this morning. That's not that. I think that was an earnings play there. Microsoft beat on earnings, ripped us up. Pretty much still acting off of Microsoft. Microsoft now up over that 412 zone that we always talk about. So I kind of want to see what happens around that level for Microsoft. Just kind of checking on that for our open. Not really opening in an area where I would like to take any sort of action. Maybe push up back into that overnight high area or even into, some of this consolidation up here. Clean some of that overnight inventory up and then rotate down. Because this really... Where do we end up opening? Right here. Yeah, so overnight high is actually right there. Never quite made it to it. That level also acts very close to my key level here that I've mentioned, that I watched these yellow zones here. Over here, this yellow zone, that 829 and a quarter, this pre-market high came up to 828 even. So right around that zone where I'm looking at that breakdown, if we could push back up, although that 30 minute there, that wick kind of tells me if we break through these lows and kind of recover some of this big rip city move here, I think at least a 50% push, that probably pushes down into that 70 range. I think we really have a little bit more to go downside before we go up, but I would like to pop up first before we could get an entry for a short. Like I said, I'm not a really great breakout type trader, but we'll see what happens at these overnight lows running into the previous day highs, which is pretty much the breakout of where that point broke out for this little Microsoft move here. Let me put on some stuff in the background so I can not sit here in silence. Continuously brewing some brew here. She handles the business on the outside. I'm handling the business on the inside currently. And the mayor, my wife just sent a picture of the mayor, all excited to have us at the event. So that's great. Love it. Really learning about what it takes to run a business on the outside. She's doing a good job. I'll probably stay on stream until I make one or two good trades here, and then I'll pop off. Might be an early get off the stream today, just because I have to go take care of the business on the outside. Friday is Capital Preservation Friday. We are up about 500-ish on the week. We had 2 decent days and 1 losing day. So we have our performance here, day stats. Monday we were up 116. Tuesday down 566. Wednesday up 931. Looking to end the week positive here. So we're going to try and execute one good trade and then another good trade and then so on and so forth. So we are holding below this VWAP area. I do have a 63% short tilt coming into the next, we have 8 minutes till open. So just be mindful of that. I would like to see what happens after this overnight low, if that's going to be that area that acts as a bounce point for that opening range breakout. You got a rally, you got a base, you kind of came back into this purple support here. I think we could give that little pop high side. Especially if Microsoft can hold 412. If Microsoft can't hold 412, then we're going to be seeing some recovery in this. 412 down to 409.86 for Microsoft on this pre-market level. Let's see if it holds it. Apple giving a little bit of a bid. Nvidia kind of just flat. Also just caught a little bounce in that closing print there yesterday. Go back to Microsoft. We did have the PCE numbers come out this morning. I'm going to refresh this so it pops up. We had core PCE, which came out in line at 0.3%. Personal income month over month ticked up a bit, and personal spending ticked up 0.8 as opposed to 0.5 expected. But it was also 0.8 last month. So just that's something to be mindful of. But I don't think it really makes a huge difference for any direction for today. It would have probably just popped the algos. And that's it. You might get some movement here at 9 o'clock with this Michigan consumer sentiment. I know it's only a 2-star event. It's not quite a red folder event, but just be mindful of it. That is a number that will possibly move the algos around. So just remember, 9 o'clock close. Let's see. Sorry, just answering the way of making sure. Last little bit of this pour over. Okay, we're good. Got to fuel up, get myself ready to go for this trading session. Powered by Day Trading Coffee Co. Here. Always bullish on caffeination, as we always say. All right. Being patient here. This is why my pre-market prep is pretty easy. I am going to run through it at some point. I'll run through like my entire little strategy, how I go through things and everything like that. But when it comes down to my levels are very simple. they just overnight high, overnight low, previous day high, previous day low. Right now, our overnight inventory is above previous day's inventory, right? So if we want to continue on and rally out of that inventory and above and back above our last key level of 829, then potentially that could happen here. But if we want to try and accept back into yesterday's range, right, after yesterday's little choppy session, right, where we melted off initially pre-market, then just rallied off of it, and then had that big pop come at 1500. So just kind of be mindful of that price action. Could recover some of it. If you do notice that happens, watch the previous day high. Could be a bounce position, just kind of recovering that big move. And then potentially if it accepts back within that range, could rotate into the bottom end of that range, but we'll see. So you are now trying to push through this overnight low, which is now creating a new overnight low, right? That's only created by pre-market levels. So we are going to be opening probably on the overnight low or at whatever the low I consider the overnight low. Reasonably with that big pop up happening right at 1500. I'm calling this sort of a gap just in my eyes, right? Because the true close here, I guess, would be 1501, would be up here. Market closes at 1500. Realistically, this market closed here. You got whatever came out, and then you got that explosive move to the upside. So previous day high here, we reopened at 1700 up here. Technically, all this is still kind of overnight inventory when it's close. When it's acting like this, I'm going to call it more of a gap. So everything up into that 17,800 level is going to be a gap area. Let's see if we can get some push today. Maybe back to the high side. I think with that big rally from that push up. Let's see what we could do here. We're going to watch the delta. So you got a big push. Oh, great. No data. What happened? Gotta reset that amp brokerage because my times were off for some reason. All right, so now we're open. We're gonna be watching this opening range. We'll see where it ends up. Hopefully everybody trades well here. It is Friday. Be cautious. Be careful on your levels. Make sure that you are trading and executing according to your plan. And let's make some money. Did open on that bottom. Could take the opening range long, but I want to be cautious on it. I want to see what happens through this overnight low. Maybe we could get a wick of this just because I got this push down here in the S&Ps. I'm going to watch that. Microsoft also flushing the 412 level. So we are pushing downside. Watch for a break of the low. If you get a break of the low, watch previous day highs for a bounce. Yeah, Microsoft falling into that 409 level. The base of yesterday's little pullback in that post-market session. So right there, sitting on that 409. Market's not following through as much as Microsoft is, so watch it. Be careful. Here we are. We got our delta there. Price trying to make new lows. You know, delta kind of just sitting there. If we do break this opening range high, 707, I want to see if that'll rally up into that VWAP. If you break this low and hold, watch the delta for a flush. S&Ps is pushing back down. Russell is just sitting slightly down. Yeah, Microsoft has pushed lower even. So if we do crack this overnight low, expect a short here. I'm going to see if we can sell through this overnight low. Didn't get filled. We are going to risk 72 to 82, so really just right up above here. Hopefully we could be right quick. I do see Microsoft just pulling down. I want to see if I can get down into that range kind of quick on this initial sell-off. Not going to run it. Run it, run it, run it. Run the sirens here. Let's see what happens. All right, just one little run on the sirens. Let's see if it'll push us downside here or if it's going to pop through this overnight low. We're just taking this quick break of the bottom. Let's see if it'll go here. If it doesn't break and hold, I mean, Microsoft is flushing hard, so I think we can rotate down. But let's see what happens here. Is it going to get heavy quick or not? I want to see if we can push. There we go. Mitigating my loss, right? I'm mitigating my loss above that overnight low because I don't want to be in if this is going to be a wick and go out. So we're down 100. You see that big push high side. If it was going to be a failure, it was going to fail fast. So I'm glad I got out of that quick. I'm going to wait, see if it'll set up again. I know I like that wick there. I want to watch this opening range high. The opening range high. If we fail this low here and rotate up, you got a good delta push high side. So that could have just been a wick. So take that quick little loss. I'm not mad about it. Just wanted to catch that. I will reload if it does flush here, but I think we might rally off this low. Does look nice. Getting right to the opening range high. See if it'll break and hold that. If not, then the failure of the bottom could come in. But that is a really nice delta candle there, though. Holding above the opening range. Delta pushing up, pushing up, pushing up. Price popping. Watch that purple zone there. Microsoft trying to hold, but I don't know if it's going to go. That's why I mitigate my loss right above that overnight high, right? I didn't want to take a full loss on that. I'm glad I just took that quick little loser and got out. I wanted to see if I could catch that heavy flush of the bottom based on Microsoft's heaviness. Just a little bit of a recovery of this big wick here. You know, it makes sense that it did run into some resistance, but there was a good chance that that flush just comes in. So that's why I had that there. I still have that idea, but we're going to see what happens here at VWAP. Could have waited for that last little wick of the bottom and then took the long through here like our normal strategy off the overnight low. But you can see the delta was pushing through just fine, right? We had a good push through the bottom. Delta was pushing through the bottom, so the congruence was there. I think we can catch the short. But we'll see what happens. Microsoft's still heavy. S&P wants to push down. We're going to watch this, see what happens. See what happens. Microsoft still continuing downside. Just watching that. I'm going to check Apple, NVIDIA. NVIDIA looking a little heavy. Apple just below 169 there, which is the consolidation zone. I'm going to go back to Microsoft. See if Microsoft can break and hold below this 409. I think we can get down to 406.18, which should push the market downside some, but there's a little bit of a divergence here. Let's see. Heavy delta and price is pushing up. So that's very interesting to me. I think that there is a seller coming in here at some point. I'm going to cheat it a little bit below this purple zone, right below here. I'll take that as the short, opening range short. But if that's only if it's going to flush hard. I don't think it's going to really go crazy. Like I said, we're not going to try and give back too much today. I'm going to see what kind of move I could catch out of this. Come on, baby. That was a nice move to VWAP there. Good little rally. If you're catching my normal strategy, that's a good one. I do like this flush, though, coming. I feel like it's just bound to just get really heavy really fast, especially the way NVIDIA was just acting. Microsoft is trying to hold that 409, so I am cautious a bit. But NVIDIA is very heavy. I think this gets heavy fast. I think we're not going to really have time to even decide to just hammer in. So I am going to short this through that level if it goes. You have very heavy delta here, right? Delta's trying to push down. There's a good amount of sellers, but price is still trying to hold up, which tells me that there's something going on here that's a little bit disconnected between the two, right? If I could get this to flush down, I think you get a really heavy delta. I think you get sellers to pour in just based on the way this is acting here. Russell's ticking up to the higher end of its opening range, which is interesting as well. And then the S&Ps is sitting just above, same as the NQs. But I am watching this level. I do think it's going to be interesting to me to see if this is going to be a failed breakout or if it's going to continue our push to the downside, rotate us lower to the previous day high area. That breakout point is really what I want to see out of it, especially Microsoft's very, very heavy. It's NVIDIA bouncing or not? NVIDIA is kind of just holding its lows here, this pre-market lows at 836. But I think if it does give it up, then we can give it up because Microsoft is pushing right into 406.18, which is a support level. So this should probably go. If it's going to continue to rally, it's interesting because it's very disconnected compared to the other names. Opening range high is 706. You could short this VWAP probably, but I'm not going to do that. I don't like to work around VWAP. I like to use it as a target. That was a good area to target. The market is kind of interesting right now because it is not acting the same as some of these Mag 7 names, right? Microsoft and NVIDIA both pushed downside pretty heavy, and NQ is pushing up. So I think possibly, and then like I said, with the where are we at? With the Delta was pushing down, we were getting new lows in Delta, but price was still pushing upside. So it's very diverged right now. It's a little disconnected. We do have a bid coming in on all the names, so everything's trying to catch up to this NASDAQ here. Microsoft wicked that bottom. Let's see if it's going to hold above this 409, 410, 409. But I want to see if this is just going to be a false breakout to the high side and then just melt really hard, really fast. You got this pop here. See if it's going to hold and break that VWAP area, or if it's going to fail the VWAP. If you fail VWAP, then you can fail this purple zone that gives us the confluence. And Microsoft's still stepping downside. I really feel like there's a big flush getting ready to happen here, and if you're not going to be in it, then it's probably going to leave you behind. I don't think a flush that's going to come in right now is going to have like another entry to it. So that's why I'm trying to front run it a little bit. Failing VWAP. If it fails this purple level, then possibly just like the heaviness just probably pours in, I would guess. I might get ticked in and bounced because I am at the support level here just below, but I think we could get below there. That is the opening range for me. So I think we could get through that opening range high, rotate right to opening range low, which would be overnight low, and then see what happens at that overnight low if we could get through it or if it's going to be another bounce point. But I really think that we could get a good flush coming here in a couple minutes or so. Just the way that Delta was acting was really interesting to me, right? Price continued to try and make new highs. Delta just kept hammering down, hammering down, hammering down. That's a really good divergence for me, telling me that there are sellers to be had here. Like I said, all the other Mag 7 names, Microsoft and NVIDIA, these two major players in this were not holding up. They're selling off, right? I'm going to watch NVIDIA a little bit because NVIDIA is trying to hold below 840. If it can crack this pre-market low here, then I think the sellers just kind of, like I said, I think it comes in fast. I think it's going to be a heavy market if it does go. If it kind of just grinds and continues upside because these things catch bounces at some of these supports, then I would, I get it. But for real, this seems like it's going to get heavy fast. So we're starting to push back down, seeing if we can get this thing to rotate lower. I'm going to try and hold this below the bottom end of this purple zone. That first initial stop is going to go right above here, but I'm going to try as soon as I get triggered, see if I can mitigate my loss pretty quickly as far as where I want to put my stop to be wrong. Probably into that 16 level and then below there. But if we pop off of this, we're going to have to be cautious. NVIDIA is trying its best to hold this pre-market low, but I don't know if it's going to be able to do that. This is Microsoft bouncing off of 406. They hit 406.18 and just kind of ran it. I don't see how this is so propped up, to be honest. I'm gonna let this thing. I'm gonna leave my market or my stop order out there. If it does give us the failure, hopefully it'll just disappear into the bottom of this chart, and I don't see even a chance to trail fast. Hopefully it'll just let me continue to work it out. That's how heavy I expect it to be. It's been grinding downside. You did just get that wick off high there above VWAP. If this could just give us a little bit more hold, and then the next flush through here could give us that heaviness. The support, the resistance above there is at 38, which is that VWAP area. Below us, we do have that 671. Really, this little flush here. So we want to see if that flush could break, and I do think we could take it to that next point down. From 38 to 18, good stuff. Yeah, I mean, that realistically should come in to play there. I didn't see why it wouldn't. There was a big delta divergence. There was, delta was making lows as price was trying to rip through highs, and it immediately failed VWAP. If it could hold below VWAP again here, S&P's does hold below VWAP as well. Microsoft's still on its lows. Lots of things telling me that this wants to get heavy. It's just waiting for the right moment. Maybe waiting for some people to build in some shorts up here, or it's waiting to give us a rip your face off rally. It's either direction, honestly, but I just, have that heaviness in most of these names that it's quite interesting to me. Oh, well, now you're catching buyers, bigger size buyers coming here at 39, 36. We got a 15 lot, 30 lot, 19 lot. I want to see if NVIDIA will fail this low. It's kind of just dancing around this 40 level. Microsoft took that 406.18 level that we always look at and bounced from it, but it's trying to push right back into it. If we can hold below VWAP, the short comes. If it bounces above VWAP and holds, then you could probably rotate up to the highs. Okay, coming back up a little bit. Maybe giving us a chance to get some more buyers involved. Still, you could see Delta is a ways away from this high here, from the previous high. If you get below the VWAP again, I mean, you do have Russell pushing up some and the S&Ps, but I don't know if I trust those. I like the short through the purple area. I mean, realistically, I did like that short through the overnight low. Everything told me that the short through that opening range was probably the best idea. I'm really glad that I decided to just take my loss quick, get out at the overnight low, but just because the way it was acting as far as this is concerned, right? This irrational move upside kind of just hurt that plan, but it just took a little paper cut. Can make it all back, and then I realistically think if we flush this level here, the 705 level, I think you obviously probably push to 700, gets us 5 points in the money pretty quick. You want to see if we could crack through the overnight low to get down into that previous day high area that I have drawn up. Microsoft still short side. NVIDIA did bounce up into that 40 level, trying to catch a little bit of a bid. I think that's the only thing that's really holding us up here. Apple's still down. Google is pushing lower. Tesla rotating onto lows. Like everything is heavy except for the NASDAQ. So is the NASDAQ trying to drag this market up and try and bring some of these names with it? Or is it just kind of lingering here, grabbing a bunch of orders for that next leg to the downside, with Microsoft recovering a lot of this move that it made post earnings? I think that this NQ wants to give up the bottom here a little bit. It doesn't have to give up this whole entire move to the previous day high. Like I said, I don't think that that's necessarily needed. I think that down into this, at least into that 40s, down into the 40s, that key level that I had prior was, 17,640. And then we had below, obviously, 17,688 was that other level that we had for that long target prior. I think we get in that region. Could we flush from 700 to 600? Yeah, we could easily. This NASDAQ moves 100 points like nobody's business. So if you're wondering why I have that kind of sitting there, it is because I'm just waiting to see what happens kind of with some of these other names. If this is just going to, if the NASDAQ's going to be our leader for the day, or if it's just going to kind of wait to see what's going to happen with the rest of the market and go. Because Russell now trying to make a lower high here. We'll see if it turns around at this 2010 level. If Russell turns and the S&Ps can turn, even though it's trying to make it inside 5 and up, but it's failing that high side. So possibly look to get this thing to push one more time. We have Delta well below here. This really sets us up nicely for a rejection of VWAP. We got ourselves a nice Day Trading Coffee Co. gold mug for the Friday here. Let's get the Friday selling coming into play here. Fridays likes to grind and go in a direction. Hopefully it doesn't pick up. Hopefully come here at 9 o'clock with that number release with the algos. Maybe we just dump off with that. Maybe that's what it's waiting for. It's bidding up for that algo push for the 9 o'clock number, 10 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern, the Michigan Consumer Sentiment. That comes in hot. Maybe they're pushing this up for that number to be hot. There's something about this that feels heavy, but also it just wants to grind higher. It's like doing that Max Payne thing. We're at 70% long on the tilt. Microsoft, like I said, still pushing downside. Nvidia trying to break pre-market highs, which it just did. And if it broke the pre-market high, still has aftermarket hours high at 848.36, and then it has an overhead resistance at 856.11. So Nvidia kind of grinding us up. If Microsoft holds this 406.18 level and catches a bid, then maybe the NQ just continues on to rally for the rest of the day. And we'll watch that overnight high, see if we fail the overnight high or if we're going to continue on through it. I think we have good resistance there for it to hold, but we are grinding high side here. 80% long on the tilt. That's a heavy long tilt. If we can get that heavy long tilt out there, Delta's trying to catch up, trying to push into here, not quite going to make it to that level prior. We get up into that VWAP area. Nice little push. Nice little push.
Look at Google right now, man. I mean, this is what we're talking about. We're going to have to NFT this one. Good so far here as it continues to go back up to the upside. Look at that buy at 172 right back. It's exactly as we were.
Tilt has went from 80 down to 76%, so maybe trying to ease some of those sellers, but you got overhead resistance here at that 80 level up into that 800. So just watch that zone. Could that be the selling point? Who knows? Everything here is pure educated guessery. That's what this job is, but we're going to be waiting to see what happens with this. We are over one. We took that one chance at that short through that overnight low there. we decided to try and catch it to rotate down, get some of that back from the that big rally on at the end of the day on Friday. But on Thursday. Possibly, like I said, if you hold this low, rotate up, could push up into new highs back above this 820 level. But I am just cautious. The reason I'm taking this idea, I'm just going to get rid of it for now. This delta divergence was pretty big. And then now we got a heavy tilt to the long side. I think if you kind of crack through VWAP, I just can't short above VWAP like that in the middle of an area. I have to wait for a zone. I think it's probably getting bid up for this 9 o'clock number. If I had to guess, possibly looked for better short opportunities. But just the way it was waiting. I mean, Microsoft flushed its levels heavy, really hard. Left through the 412, right through the 409 level, right down into our 406.18 support. But it didn't quite break through that low at 406.18 because that area is a pretty key level for Microsoft. Microsoft was selling, Google was selling, NVIDIA was selling, and the NQ was pushing higher and higher and higher. And so that to me told me that there was a bit of a divergence there. You had delta divergence. There's a lot of reasons why the short might still come in here. However, I would be cautious on it with some of these names now catching bids, right? NVIDIA pushing up, just broke yesterday's high, post-market high, could push up into 856. If it pushes up into there, could sell off from that. I would like to watch that overnight high, and a crack of this purple zone down to the low side would be nice. If we crack up here, I don't like the short above VWAP. It could just be a wick in and a bounce, so I'm not going to do that. But if I could short, if it can flush through here, hold this purple zone a little bit, and then I could get a breakdown of that purple down through that overnight low, that'd be great. And then also at the overnight high, I'm going to look for a wick out, failed breakout to the high side, and then rotate down. Obviously, I took this loss here on a breakout, kind of continuation momentum style trade. A small loss, little half loss. So look for one good win to kind of button up our week. And I'm kind of thinking that we could potentially maybe rally into this overnight high with a bit of a grind, and then give you hopes and dreams of a breakout, and then crush those hopes and dreams with a failure. And then that'll get us that rotation back to VWAP, back to the overnight low. And who knows how low it'll go if it does do that. But my only concern is that the Friday price action tends to just catch some sort of direction, and it likes to continue on and continue on and continue on. So I just want to be cautious with that as well. So I'm going to wait for confirmation above that overnight high, wait for that failure, wait for the divergence, and then look for that short back down through it. Microsoft back to that 409 level. NVIDIA still holding above pre and post market yesterday high. Like I said, I think it does have to 856, although there is overhead resistance here at 850, 80, 850 up into 853. We have 5 minutes till the hourly close, so I can't even execute if I wanted to. I like to have that as one of my rules. 5 minutes to the hourly close. I let that hour settle in, and then I go from there. So while we are waiting, just kind of being patient on it, giving that market some time to kind of digest this. Also, right there at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock Eastern, you do have that consumer sentiment number coming out. So just be cautious. There could be some algorithms pumping and dumping. You are getting a heavy tilt to the long side, so this could initiate a little bit of a quick sell. Microsoft also running into overhead resistance at 409.86. I want to see this thing try to break through this overnight high. Give me a hot sentiment number. Give you that first move, that algo whip to 840, and then I would love to just get a dump off this overnight high and then rotate down. Like I said, from overnight high to VWAP down to the overnight low would be my ideal trade here, without an opportunity to, have any getting stopped out, right? I want to trail it fast if it goes fast, but also it would be nice to see if I could get this to grind a little bit where it would push and then hold and then push. That would be my ideal setup there for a continuation short. Microsoft failing that. NVIDIA pushing right up to that 856 level. I got 3 more minutes. Hopefully we could get this consumer sentiment number to come out a bit hot. Show that the markets are hot. We're going to get a little coffee action here. Re-up. A little re-up. Not feeling the tilt, not feeling the panic, not really waiting for anything to just throw my money away. Still up for the week. So I'm very happy with what we got going on. I do see a setup coming at some point soon. We are right on to that 1 standard deviation away from VWAP, right? That's that upper band. You do have the delta just not following through. A lot of this buying does not seem like it's getting bid up by new buyers here. You will maybe see a wick top here coming in, and that's exactly what I want to look for. Maybe a wick off high, and then potential short through that overnight high. That's really what my ideal situation would be. Does this number come in too hot, and then it just melts off right away? If that's the case, I will watch this purple line to give me some sort of resistance. If it pops here and gives like a little dead cat type bounce, maybe even give us a little head and shoulders type, right, with that there, and then a little bounce up into VWAP, I would look for that short just to catch to the overnight low and then hopefully flush the overnight low. If the number comes in not so hot, then potentially this overnight high breaks. What in the world is that? This is not the overnight high. This is the overnight high. Why does it keep moving? See, I would have gotten myself screwed. I think I accidentally moved my level there. 1 minute. 1 minute till that data release. Be careful. If you're in a position, be careful. NVIDIA is at overhead resistance. Microsoft is at its resistance. We're approaching overnight highs in the NQ. Not quite there in the S&Ps. So just like I said, be cautious with this number release. If you don't know how to trade data releases, don't. Best to be flat. If you're in a position already and you're up, maybe just learn to figure out a way to mitigate your wins. Try not to get whipped out, but also, take what you can get. Because a lot of times these numbers will just get whipped around by algos and then come right back to where they were, but you'll end up losing all your gains or, maybe even making some on it. But just, as you see it go, just learn how to trail it, right? So you're starting to get this higher wedge pattern here. I want to see what happens with Delta with this. Not a really crazy move yet. There's a push down a bit. Push down. Let's see what this does. This come out. 3%. It came in up 77.2. So it ticked down. 77.9 was expected. So maybe a wick of the high. Possible continuation. Not a ton of movement there for a number release, right? I mean, like I said, it wasn't like a huge number, but also at the same time, it's something that they do look at for sure. So just watch it for market strength. It came in light, so 3% inflation, 76 expectations, tick down on conditions, 3.2. The actual number 77.2. Previous was 79.4. I think anything up higher is more inflationary. I like the way this wedge is. I like the lack of breakout on a decent I number. You're getting a tick down in Delta. I might just short this here instead of waiting. If it does want to go and get heavy from here, I'll take that breakdown from there and then back to VWAP. I would love it to get to that overnight high, but I do have an idea here of a lack of breakout on a number that seemed like it came out lighter than anticipated. So there was not a ton of algo movement on it. So maybe, like I said, they were just pushing this up to get it short up higher. S&P is looking to break the high, and the NQ is leading us the opposite direction. Let's see if we can get this to break and go. I'm going to give it a shot here. Scared money don't make no money, right?
Order filled.
We are short. We're waiting to see if this is going to go or not. If it's going to rotate back to the high, so be it. I want to see if we can break through this low. I was waiting for this thing to kind of crack and go like it's been doing this past week. If we get stopped out, then we're just going to wait for that next level to be patient. I am just sitting there a little bit heavier sized, not sized, but heavier on my stop. There we go, 380. So we're 0 for 2 here, but we're looking to see if this will kind of come melt down on us. Because the way NVIDIA is just running into that resistance, Microsoft selling off again. There's just something that's telling me that this is heavy here. Might reload on it. Might just wait. Let's see what happens on this delta divergence. See if we can get a pop of the high, a wick off, and then a rotate. I waited for that overnight high. Maybe that's really what I should have been waiting for, like I normally do. But you got a lot of resistance here as well. S&P's pushing up over that previous level now, so just watch it. Be cautious. Short biased. Kind of gets me run over sometimes. All good. Good morning, Jofi. How we doing? We're 0 for 2 now. We just gave it a go here. I will take the failure of that, though, if it wants to fail this right here. I like when big expansionary candles fail immediately. That's something I like as far as one of my setups too. We're at this upper band here, running into overhead resistance. Russell is leading us up high side. That's one thing I'm just kind of been watching as well. Microsoft pushing down. If NVIDIA could reject this 850, 645 level, then I think we could break through this downside and rotate us down a bit. Just kind of being a little bit aggressive today, although I said I was going to be not so aggressive. I just wanted to see this move kind of play out and be a part of it. 85 to 95. Yeah, that should give us enough risk there. But if it breaks up here, then, you know, it is what it is. It's just the reason I'm in on these things is the delta, the tilt's heavy long. Delta's just constantly been diverging here. We've been getting a lot of downside pressure with the Mag 7 names. Microsoft was pushing lower. NVIDIA was, and now it's run all the way up into the highs, but it's run into resistance. If I could get a breakdown of this expansionary candle and a breakdown of this, you know, support level here, I think you can get a heavy move kind of quickly to happen. Hopefully it gets down to VWAP and into this purple zone pretty fast. That's really what my idea of this level breakdown would be. And then I could possibly look to trail it down into overnight low and beyond if it decides to get that heavy. I was mentioning that I think that is a sell kind of day, but it's been grinding higher a little bit unreasonably. I don't know why. I think that it wants to get heavy, but just something about it tells me that. Microsoft trying to put in a higher low, though, also. That's something I'm going to be concerned about. Just this overhead NVIDIA resistance here just has me really interested in it. I do want to short this thing, and I want it to go quick. There we go. We're pushing down heavy. There's that good timing on that breakdown. Let's see if we can get this thing to now rotate to VWAP. If we can get the VWAP, we could trail down to this downward breakdown area here, get ourselves back to break even, and then look for that next trade, right? I think we can get heavy, and I think we can get really, really heavy. I think we can get down into overnight lows, potentially, if this doesn't run into some resistance here. I want to get to VWAP. This is a free trade for me. If it bounces from here, it's fine. But for me, I am looking to see this heaviness come in. When we reject that, NVIDIA also at that overhead resistance, I don't think it has enough room to continue on from there. If it does break, then maybe it does. But overall, I kind of want to give this a little bit of room to push down. If it stops me out, I get stopped out. It's just kind of the way today is going to go. But I think we can get heavy here. Get heavy, get heavy, get heavy, get heavy, get heavy. Nope, we stopped out. Nope. So it is what it is. We just kind of stopped ourselves out there again. We didn't quite get the follow through that we want to. You've seen me trade before. If you've been on the stream, you know that that's kind of my strategy of fast move, fast trail type play. I wanted to see if we could get through this low before I could actually trail my stop to that level. It would have been a nice little $200 grab, but now you see that this thing's price is popping back up. I'm gonna probably wait for that overnight high to give me that next layer of confidence for the short. But that short was perfect. The only thing I could have probably done a little bit better was catch a little bit of that, more of that move on it, right? Because that's from my entry right around 98. Oh, no, I'm sorry. My entry was down here. My entry was around 85 down to 68. So just shy of 20 points. Could have secured 10 points and then looked for more. But I'm not really too concerned about that. I'm going to check this Delta out. Delta make brand new, like beautiful lows. And then now we're trying to push through highs. Once again, Delta not playing along. So I am playing my Delta strategy. I just wanted to get to, I guess I got to get it to that overnight high to get my full play. So we are technically two losses and a small win. Let's see if we can get this thing to go. That was a decent wick there on the S&Ps. I'm going to get back to the 1 minute, see what it looks like there. Wick bottom, kind of acting very much the same. I would like to see the S&Ps get to the overnight high at the same time the NQ gets to the overnight high. The S&Ps loves to reject levels. Well, you can see this at NVIDIA. Boy, oh boy, look at this thing. NVIDIA got to this 856.11 level, rejected it. We had a good sale coming in. That's why this was selling off. That was a good follow through on it. And now it's breaking the high and pushing up into that next level. I think we have some room to go for NVIDIA. I didn't think we were going to crack and go, but hey, NVIDIA does what it wants when it wants. So we are watching that level overhead. I want to see this thing go sell side. For me, 78% tilt, a little heavy tilt. You can see Delta, once again, lower highs on Delta, less buyers coming in up here, I think. Less market buyers. Let's see if we can wick the high, wick the overnight high, get me a setup there, and I will have a short entry through the overnight high. That's just part of my strategy. Got to take it. Got to do what I can do. I don't have a great breakout strategy for myself, so as you can tell, down at the bottom, they took that first loss of breakout. This short was good right there. Could have been a little bit more risk averse on it. Could have just grabbed some of that, got back what we lost, and then looked for this overnight high trade. But it just felt really heavy there. Probably wanted to go back to VWAP. Didn't quite make it there. So we are going to just continue to watch this overnight high level. See if we can get that overnight high to be the key wick off. Right? I want to see something very similar to this happen, where we push up into it, try it again, and then rotate down. So we pushed up into it. I want to push up over it, even maybe close above it, and then try and get some longs, considering to get longer. And then I want to fail that level, because I don't think, I mean, NVIDIA does have the opportunity to do that, but I think it could fail it. Sorry if I'm a little distracted. I am just making sure my wife is good over there at the secondary event that we got invited to after yesterday's event. We were kind of prepared for it, but not really. It was a last second thing that they said, hey, come over here and do this tomorrow for us. The mayor of the city of Pasadena actually asked us to do it. So you can't say no to the mayor, right? So we decided to do some work and try and make it happen, which worked out well. I think we had some issues, some hiccups this morning, but all's well that ends well, I should say. I completely blew that statement. So I want to see this overnight high push and then fail. And I want to get rid of this. I don't care about that anymore. I want this to go up, break above this overnight high, give me a nice little push, get the the ES to I want to even get up into 40s. That'd be nice. Let's see if we can break that and get some buyers involved. I just want to see something on the longer term NASDAQ chart on this side. Give me a second. Yeah, I think up into that 40 level is a good area. Jofi, hopefully everything's going well with you. I want to see this divergence come in. Tilt's getting a little lighter. I don't like that. I want the tilt to get heavier. Get the tilt heavier. This is what I want here. You can see now Delta's trying to make new highs. It's actually acting nice now. So Delta pushing up while price is pushing up. So Delta caught up. You can see right here. So now we need to see price give me some sort of double top type idea. Fail the 40s. I'm not going to take this first failure of the overnight high. I want to see one more attempt to push back through it. Maybe try and get some people long and then short that high. I want to see the S&Ps catch up too. I want the S&Ps to get right up into that level, that 5140, and then short that 5140 level. That's my idea with that. 40, I mean, up even into 56, the NQ could get. So that could get up into here before it decides to get short based on some of my previous levels. But if we're just doing this based on overnight levels, I want to see if I can get a failure. I don't have a ton of size. I got buying size here above the overnight high. So I do want to have a sell stop in here if we do like a immediate rejection. Yeah, I'm not looking for a giant move, right? Some people might be looking to fully rotate this to the other way. I could just take this to VWAP. It'd be really nice. Come on, S&Ps. Get to that high and fail that 40. Let's see if we fill up on this short or if it's going to reject that. Yeah, we're filled. Okay, let's see what happens. We're filled on that. I shorted it based on that overnight high, maybe a little too early on my divergences. Like I said, I wanted to see it get up to 40 first. So we'll probably take a full loss on this if it does pop over here into 40. It kind of wicked us off there. Hopefully we could get the rejection now. I'm a little early, I think. I want to see maybe I could mitigate this. Only take a quick loss. If it could get back below this overnight high, I'm gonna try and get really tight with it. Yeah, I don't want to risk the full loss on this. I feel like we're maybe a little bit early, but hopefully not. Hopefully we could just get in the green and just initiate selling. I do not want to be involved above overnight high again. I want this never to look back to the overnight high. So we're back down to 20. Let's see if we can get to this high here at 810. If we can get to 810, then hopefully we could get to break even. 810. I wanted to get down to 810 before I could get to break even. I don't want to wick the high anymore. If it does wick the high and get me out, I will look to short it again, right? But, oh, yeah, so we're flat there. I just want to make sure I'm not getting involved for a wick off bottom push to the high side one more time. I need to see this divergence. I'm giving myself one more chance at this. If I could wick the high here, you can see the delta not pushing up. So that's good for our setup. So if we can get this to come down again, this time should be a heavier tilt to the downside. Yep, I want this to push up even higher. Push up one more wick above. Give me a wick above the high. Keep this delta here. Very good. That would be nice. That's what I want to see right there. If this is going to be just a momentum continuation, then so be it. I never get in, and we're down for 4, and that's that. I'm just not going to get involved. But that's a nice little wick on the top end. I'll see if that'll be good. Delta push just above. Potentially good. Still on the momentum to 56. I said was upside. The next overhead resistance over there. So I wanted to see the wick of 40. Wick of 40. Then come down. Fail the market. Fail the overnight high. We might take a little bit bigger. Slightly over our loss limit, but we're going to risk our full risk on this trade. Not chasing it, just trying to execute on our good setups here. Overall, like I said, kind of just not getting the good movement on this NQ. It's really interesting the way it's acting. Maybe it continues to grind up, but like I said, I like this wick off high here at the overnight high. A failed breakout usually gives us a bigger push down. You do have double top on the VY on the Delta, trying to push highs again. You're getting that. Oh, that's beautiful. I like this. I like this for my better setups. If you can get this to tighten up just like that, give us a little bit of wedge. Even if you push up a little bit more one more time, that wedge usually breaks with some force at an overnight level, either direction, high or low. I'll take one more even push leg up before it fills me, which would be nice. One more push up into that 40, another failure, and then get a big seller to come in. Okay, somebody said Tesla's getting heavy, so that's helping us out a little bit here. I did say I was going to go full risk on this one, full 200. I want to see this thing go now. This is my timing right now. This is what I want to see as far as timing is concerned. I may even sell a second contract on this. I don't think I'm going to have a chance to, though. If it gets back over that overnight high, then we're going to be wrong and we're going to lose $50. But I want to continue to see if I could get this to push now for the heaviness, right? I said that heaviness is where that comes in usually, is that wedge type pattern. Should I go with my full risk? No, fuck you. That was a weird wick, man. I'm taking that secondary chance. This does not. That's a very interesting wick to me. Push. I'm willing to take those quick basic paper cuts to just give myself the chance on this to go when I want it. Yes, if I would have taken profits on a couple of these here, I would be up or break even. But I think that this move comes in a little harder today. I know it's Friday. I'm trying to be good, but I do have an idea of heaviness at the overnight levels. If we can flush this low, then I'll go to break even, and then we'll see what happens. I got these tight stops going. If I get wicked $50 here, $50 there, I might get off on my max daily loss limit, but also at the same time, I limit my big loss. I don't want to have a big loss, and I get my risk to reward. I mean, realistically, if I flush this low here, it should not come back to that overnight high, and I'll be at break even, so I'll have another trade to trade with here, right? I got another opportunity here to get another trade. So now we have the opportunity to see if this will flush, see if it'll go down to VWAP. That's my goal. If it's not going to fail this overnight high, then we'll get stopped at break even here. But it should fail it. I would like to get to the overnight low. Overnight high to overnight low is a beautiful move. But right now we're just going to look to see if we can get through this 800 level. If we can get down through 800, then we could get to, down into here. I do like the heaviness. I'll take a nice, another $90 win on this. Because if this is going to continue to just wick in, grab liquidity and pop, I just don't like that price action. Yeah, it's going to continue to do that to me, then it's not going to follow through the way I like it. So this is going to be another. So we did take a win there. So we did buy ourselves another trade. If it gets back above this overnight high, right, and tries to wick the high again, it could fail it. Microsoft popping up now up into that 412 level, and the NQ not following through on that. I want to see it wick the overnight high one more time if I'm going to get back into it. You see this good delta push to the downside. The sellers want to come in, but something is propping this up. It's very interesting to me. Let's see if this trend line holds. You have this, that level there. I want one more pop. One more pop. Give me that one more pop, even though Delta's getting heavy. Microsoft's popping up. It should give you that next little push up. If it's going to continue to trend higher, then it won't fill me up. If it does decide to give up this failure level, then I will eventually get to short. Overall, like I said, we're just trying to get ourselves into a good position where we could just mitigate losses and catch a little bit of this move here. If you're a breakout momentum type player, if it breaks through this trend line here and continues on and holds, then potentially maybe that's where a good bit of bidding comes in and a pop comes into play. I did mention up to 56 is probably a likely overhead resistance, so possibly that goes to there. It's hard for me to take breakouts, especially if I don't get this thing to go. I would like the failed breakout here. If I can pop up above, hold, maybe even try to wick that 40 level again. Give me a delta divergence. Look at how far down delta is, right? Not getting new buyers anywhere close to that high. So if I could get the failure of that level there, it'd be better timing maybe. Microsoft running into the resistance above. I want to see what NVIDIA is doing. NVIDIA is still running to the high side. Not getting a lot of volume pushed. I mean, it's ticking up, but this would be the area that you would be interested in for that volume to play your breakout momentum, right? You're getting the overhead resistance here at that one standard deviation. You got a huge delta divergence. S&P's is ticking down. Overnight high here. There's a lot of variables here that are working in my favor for a failed breakout short. See if it'll come in fast this time, or if not, we'll just do it again. Need to break this low. The only reason I set one of those there is just in case we get a major flush, right? I want to see if I could get a major flush get filled. That's why I set a take profit. But for the most part, as I approach it, I move my take profit away and I just trail and I try to get trailed out. Microsoft failed that 412 level very nicely. So I hope to break the low here. Not a ton of follow through in either direction. Could just be a choppy time up here at the high. Just trying to break above here again. You can see heaviness here. Delta also pushing down. That VWAP is an overhead resistance. It's doing a good job. I want to just pull down into the VWAP. Really, I'm not asking for a huge pullback. Just down the VWAP would be nice. Microsoft rejected 412. Should have gave us a little bit more of a sell here. Tesla was selling off. NVIDIA is just kind of lingering around its highs. This is probably going to pop up here. If it does, then this probably be my last attempt at it. Yeah, I'm not really convinced on this right now. It's not, like I said, I like to be right fast and I like to be wrong fast as well. So if this is going to make me wrong, I'll be down. And basically, even on the week, not a bad week, like I said. Either way, I kind of shortened it a bit with yesterday's activities out there, doing my day trading coffee co business stuff. We got invited to do something today. We were out there early today, so up earlier than normal. Maybe that's a little bit of a focus thing. Fridays tend to screw around a little bit too, so slightly over trading. I could definitely see that. Just not getting the follow through that I think would happen here at this overnight level. So I'm just trying to be patient with it a little bit on this move. If it cracks this high, then I think it continues on anyway. So we would like to be out. I want to see it fail this overnight high one more time here. Get down, get low, below this 810 level. And then hopefully we could just trail it out from there. Flat. View. Delta's flat, Delta's flat, Delta's flat. Russell's pulling back nicely. Russell, he's been leading us to the high side, so pull back to the downside for the Russell. Maybe that leads to the NASDAQ to go, but it seems like it's wicking this area, wanting to grab more longs, although I do see a lot of sells on the time and sales, so could be building a short in as well. So, like I said, I still have my entry. I'm not tagging myself out quite yet. I do believe that we have an opportunity here to capitalize. It's a A plus trade for me, right? I have to get it to go here. I have to take the chance at it. It's part of my strategy. If I don't take it, then I don't have the chance to capitalize on my gains and make what I think I could make on a trade like this. There we go. We're at even. So now we just see what happens. Can we get the pullback to VWAP? That's the goal here. Get the pullback to VWAP. Okay. We're trailed it out a little bit here because the way price has been acting, I kind of feel like we're going to get whipped around some. I don't want to be doing it again. So I will see the heaviness come in. It has to come in fast for me to start to trail even further. See, there's that grab. So we grabbed a little bit back. We're down only one lose. One more trade here. One lose. What am I even saying? Good delta push. Everything acting exactly how we want, right? Delta's pushing down. Price is pushing down. Rejecting a key level, but we're not getting that follow through. So learning from my mistakes earlier, I took a little bit more of a trail there. Obviously, it's probably going to go down to lows now just because I took some of my profits. But I'd rather do that on a Friday, keep myself in the green, looking for one more good trade. There's that push down. Now you finally get that flush. There was that nice little break of 800. So that would have been a really good move there and probably get myself red to green and back. I'm not going to chase it here. That's not what I look to do. I want to see maybe a failed breakdown here, rotate the overnight high, and then I'll watch to see if we break out. That's where I would be interested in breakouts, right? If we get down into here, we flush this, and then we rotate up into that overnight high, I would consider that a failed breakdown of a breakout and then a rotate to the high side. But for me, I think realistically, we don't come back up into this market area, and I won't ever get an opportunity to get in either long or short. So there you go. There's a good flush of 800. Our trade was perfect. I had to trail based on the way price has been acting, but unfortunately, that led to me getting a little bit less of a win. But like I said, price has just been acting a little bit disconnected to the way I like it, right? It's never going to be perfect. You just got to be happy with what you get and move on. We're about 50% wins today, trade-wise. We made 200 on that last one. The last two trades were up 280. We've been just wicking ourselves out. Two small losers, 55, 65, $50 winner. And then we had, to start the day, we lost 100, and then we lost full loss at 275. So we've kind of just bounced around here, gave ourselves good opportunities. I will still be interested in shorts below that purple zone. If I get myself back to green or if I take another trade, it's probably the last one for the day. I do have to go run back to the golf course and pick up the wife, get everything back in order, and then I have to go to work later. So just an FYI. If I cut out a little early today on a Friday, it's not because I'm just going out and just got to go take care of some business. But like I said, great week so far, everybody. We've been executing on our plan. That short was good there. We just, like I said, I didn't see a good follow through coming based on the way price has been acting at our levels with our setup being pretty good at every point so far today. So we may just kind of get limited follow through on any sort of move. So any trade I take, I'm probably going to trail fast with any sort of decent move. And I'm just going to take a little piece, little piece, little piece, and maybe get myself back to, a small win on the day. If I get lucky, I'll get a decent win. The reason I like a long off of this through this high here would be that it's a sweep, a liquidity sweep here, grab some and go. If it's going to just continue to the downside, we should never get back above probably this overhead resistance here. I like that further confirmation above the overnight high. Like I said, I'm not a big breakout trader, so I may just go, quick to that 56 level with my take profit and just trail it up tight. But I'll have that stop really, really tight here below overnight highs, because if that fails that again, I will be out. But I like the short, man. I did love that short. I'm so short biased in this market, and I tend to get run over on these Fridays. So I am going to flip my bias just purely based on the way price has been acting. NVIDIA still continuing to be strong. Microsoft did fail the 412 level, but it's not giving you a hard follow through this. It has like a little bit of a rising wedge type pattern here. So it hit off on the bottom, wicked it. There's a bottom support here around 409 even. If it gets back above 409.86, then I think price in the NASDAQ can continue to rally because NVIDIA is kind of dragging us upside. And this here just kind of feels like a liquidity sweep. There's a lot of buyers down here at 814, 815, 814, 815, seeing, 10 plus lot sizes on buy orders up here. So potentially look to see that thing. And then it's heavier short, 60% short. Let's see what the tilt, with the delta still well below anywhere that we could be for making new highs. But if you start to see stronger delta candles here, that's more buyers stepping in. And it kind of, the patterns in here work very similar to the patterns in there. So Russell also was ticking up. Remember I said the Russell was leading us downside. It led us up, and then it let us down a little bit with that pullback. If the Russell can break the high again at 2016, then I think Russell gets up into 2020, and that also pushes the NQ up as well. I think on Fridays it tends to get a little bit of a trend Friday for some reason. I don't know what it is. It'll catch it, and it'll just keep going in a direction. So I'm going to try and do that. I caught a little bit of that short, as much as I could, I guess, because I would have been stopped out anyway. So overall, good on me for that trail. Still want to see if we can get this to push through this overnight high and pop it. I think that might be my momentum play there. We'll see if Microsoft can break back above 409.86. If it does, then I think that does rally us up. I think we got to be careful if S&P does get to that 5140 level, because I think that's going to be overhead resistance for everything. So we'll stop in above here, and I'll stay my stop below overnight highs. I'm willing to just kind of take it and go up into 80s, just because 80s is a nice number. If this is going to be a failed breakout, then I'm going to get out. But if it's going to go, I would like to be involved based on the way price has been acting today. Just, it's long biased on the day. I think we get it to go a little bit. Go up. Come on now. Play the breakout now. It's going to get like super heavy now because like I love to be short and it doesn't want to do what I want to do on today. Like I said, I'm giving it a shot for that long. You see that very wicky top there. Strong delta, but that overnight that band there, that VWAP band is right there. So we're stopped. Failed breakouts every time. That's why I short those. Funny. A little bit overtraded. A little bit. Just a touch. I'm going to see if I can get a divergence up here. Microsoft didn't tick up at all. S&P is still holding. This could be an inverse head and shoulders. I'm going to wait. Microsoft looking to break down. We didn't get that follow through before. Delta's pushing down. Can it be support here at this level at 810, or is it going to crack? Chopping around a little bit. Win some, lose some, win some, lose some. I do think that we do this above here. I'll give it one more shot. It's that VWAP band right there, that 40. But if we crack below that 810, that could be a nice little short. So overall, there's two directions that this could, obviously there's always two directions, but you can see buyers coming in. Still just kind of 50-50 on the tilt. No real direction. Microsoft is selling now through that level, that support level below. NVIDIA trying to wick that high. I think maybe it gets back above it. If not, if it rotates back down through 856, then you could get short. A little bit in and out, in and out. I like this long through the high. Like I said, I saw it there. I do think it still goes, but I am willing to just kind of wick myself out, take my small loss, and move on. If it holds this and continues, we're good. If it continues to rotate back down, if NQ keeps going, Russell looks like it's making a lower high. Delta's trying to push lower, but it's not following through. Same kind of thing that's been going on all day. So that's what makes me believe that this was more of a get shorts involved and then rip their face off to the high side. Kind of just thinking in market psychologies. Delta pushing down, price pushing up, which is going to be right. It's been opposite day today with my Delta setup. But I like this short through here. If it could get through 810, I will take it short. But it looks like it wants to get as long through the overnight high one more time. So I will wait, let it try that first. And then I'll try the short if it fails this. Like I said, I'm not married to biases. I like to see if I can get my stuff to go and go. Get my setup and try and just be right quick, right? If it wants to rip to 80, I'll take it. If we break through the high, I got to go to break even. I will go right there to just below overnight high. If that's going to fail, that's my normal setup. So I would like to flip short right here, right now. I flipped that short right there based on that failed breakout. Let's see if I can get that to go. Wow. A little bit of overtraded there. Yeah, we're out. We're going to lock ourselves out there because I am overtrading a touch here. Don't feel the tilt on it, but I do feel like we're doing a bit more than normal. I just feel like that delta divergence is there. We're just not quite getting our follow through on it. Can I take one more short through the low here? I'll take one more just to give myself a shot. And then if I get out on this, then that's my stop for the day. That long breakout, I try to play that long. I don't have a great strategy for that. You can see how overtrading kind of gets me into some trouble on a day like this. Realistically, you got to just avoid chop. Do your best to play your best setups. 58% long. The delta divergence here, everything here tells me that the short wanted to come into play. We got that nice short there. I decided to try and flip long. It's probably going to go now because I'm done trying to take the longs. But really, if it can go and fail and then come back down, right, that's where I like my move to happen, and I like it to happen fast. Try to make up my loss for the day and then be done. That's really what I like to see as far as my setup is concerned. It's really it's a heaviness to it at my key levels. You can see a little bit of a rising wedge type. It's like holding that support. You made new highs. You failed to break it. Volume is ticking up, but price is not moving higher on a break of a high. Delta divergence. Pushing up now. Now you get the volume. Broke the high again. Closed above the high. New 1 minute candle here. 9:43 a.m. We took a bit more trades today than normal. Friday overtrade a bit. We're looking to see if we can get this to just fail this overnight high one time more. Try and catch our good win and then be done. I did say that 56 is probably the overhead resistance. So let's see if 56 even gets hit or if we can fail this now. Delta kind of trying to push up. This upper VWAP band is acting as resistance. I like this rising pattern here. Right there. If that could crack and fail, then probably look to rotate it down. And we're in. Microsoft get heavy. Why not? Wow. Tick me in exactly to the bottom tick and then rotate me out to the high side probably. Trader's going to trade on a Friday. See if we can get this to flush here. It doesn't. It feels like it wants to rally again. Can I get my heaviness one more time here? And then that'll be it for me on the day. Either way, win or lose, this is the last trade. Just trying to get this to crack this overnight high. Give me a nice heavy selling pressure here. You got Delta kind of curling a little bit. Price broke this little support level. Usually that acts pretty good for me. But it doesn't seem like it wants to play today. There we go. That's a nice little breakdown. Come on, don't wick it. Just go. You got to talk shit to the market sometimes. Get through that 810 level, then we should be pretty good for this short. This 810 was that resistance, that support level. If 810 can act appropriately, then we could possibly get ourselves down through it. A break of that overnight high gives us a big pop probably, and I don't want to be involved in that. This looks like an inverse head and shoulders to me. Hopefully we could get through this low, continue to get heavy. Maybe people will just continue to start selling. We do have a flat delta, so not really a lot of help on the delta, but it hasn't been helping us at all today, really. So overall, nothing doing on that front. I'll risk $100 on this one. Actually, I'll risk to that high, that 165. It is really that break there probably gives us more buying pressure. Hopefully we can hold below this overnight high. If it doesn't, then this is probably that head and shoulders breakout. Yeah, it looks like it wants to go. Come on now, get heavy. This is, you can see the decision making. You just candle speeding up. There it goes. Now it wants to probably pop. I'm out. I'm done for the day. Gave back. We ended up just negative on the week here with this trade being down so much. I would not like to overdo it anymore. Really kind of chopping myself up over here. This short was correct. I even think that this long was right. And what we tried to do was flip short on this one as well over here. And just kind of got ourselves a little bit dancing around with the level that normally is good, but today is not acting in our favor. Microsoft is getting a little bit of a bid here at 409, trying to get back through it. So if Microsoft does get back through it, potentially look for that long to come in. Not trying to overdo it, like I said. That first trade of the day was a little bit that try to take that short through the overnight low. Everything had the confluence to take that, right? Microsoft really heavy, Nvidia really heavy, Delta pushing downside. Everything looked pretty good for it. Right now we are obviously down 770 on the day. Our max loss limit personally was 500, so we did overtrade a bit. I just don't like the way that the Delta's been acting, the price has been acting. Like, it just hasn't played out like normal. So we are kind of just being cautious a little bit with everything, but we are trying to be aggressive at the same time, right? Everything is catching a bit of a bid. Microsoft, Nvidia, now you're starting to get a little stronger here through this overnight high. I mentioned that's the reason I wanted to be stopped at the overnight high is because I think that little head and shoulders here cracks and you break up to that 56 level potentially. So that's really why I didn't want to really force that. If anybody has any trade ideas that they were doing, Fridays is either a make or break day, and today it seems like it just wants to break us down a bit. Nvidia still pumping, Microsoft holding below that 409.86, but who knows for how long. I did, like I said, there's some chop over here to our left that I am not really looking to take longs through the 50s. I wanted to take the long from the overnight high to 56, and obviously the first time I tried it failed. Then this time it's gonna go. So my timing has just been a little off. This one was good. The timing on that was good. The timing here was bad. Overall, just kind of up and down, up and down. Could be a battle type day for everybody. Just that grind from that low, grinding up higher, fighting every little bit along the way that was telling us that it was not going to go higher, right? That was just like what bothered me about it. It fought it. Does this go now? I think that E10 level is the key breakdown point. Are we just chopping? S&P is getting heavy. Oh, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. There we go. Jesus. Hate when that happens. I'll take this short one more time. Let's do it. Yes, I'm trying to practice good abilities here of my strategy, but at the same time, this is my strategy. I want to get green. It's not quite tilt. It's me trying to get my strategy to play out for me here. If it holds this overnight high, then maybe it continues on. But I think we could you can see how well these levels work, right? Overnight high and overnight low, both reactive. There's a lot of action around here. Potentially looking to go either further higher or rotate downside. Let's see what happens with this level. If it becomes something that will flush on us, we'll just take a quick piece of it. Let's get through this level. How is that going to bottom tick me? That's the question. I really look for that momentum break. It doesn't want to go. Wow, it's getting strong. Be a false breakout. Get heavy, get heavy, get heavy. Singing it out. Can I push it down with the stop? Nope. It's going to pop me out. All right, we're done for the day. Locking it out. Doesn't matter. We are already down more than we would like to be. Overtraded a bit today. You can see it live here. Unfortunately, we gave back our win from the other day, so we're down pretty much just shy of 400 and change. So overall, as I mentioned, this is what happens when you overtrade. You should just hit off on your loss limit and be done. This will be your example for not doing what I just did. Overall, I think traded well on the week. We made a couple mistakes as far as today is concerned. But, no harm, no foul on the account. Still well in profit here. We're still doing pretty good. We just need to come back next week, have a little bit more focus, get back into our plan, lock ourselves out when we're supposed to, not try and bottom tick our way into shorts at a level on a day where it's grinding higher. Obviously, the trade setup worked here. This is really what I should be looking for. I should be looking for this setup right here to happen. Take the money that it gives me and go on a Friday. Pretty much forced in a couple of entries here that I didn't necessarily need to take. Pop, 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 pop. So that's really what it comes down to. You just don't leave yourself the proper opportunities and you lose out. So the realities are you win some, you lose some. Today we're down a little bit, but we made this last trade. Where's see right here? Performance stats, daily stats. We were up 930. We're down 970. So we made our losing day. We canceled it out, right? So overall down probably about 500 on the week. Nothing that we can't make back next week and then some. I just need to focus in a little bit better and only execute these A-plus setups. This one was great. Executed it. Didn't get any follow-through on it. Came back up and stopped us out for a small loss, $100 loss. Then we tried to do some stuff in the middle over here, really down a little bit. And then overall, now we're back up to the top. I am going to cut out at 10 to go over to the wife and help her. Do. You win some, you lose some. Like I said, we are done trading for the day. Down a bunch. 973. Just kind of caught ourselves up in our overnight levels, and just happens. This is the short that I look for. Probably once it happened there, I said this overhead, this head and shoulders type deal here probably continues our grind to the high side. Our delta divergences were there. We had everything that we were looking for. Just didn't get any follow through on anything today as far as my strategy is concerned. Will a sell come in? Yeah, probably now that I'm done, right? A sell probably does come in, and we're out. But so far, everything else, we tried our best on executing properly. I did overtrade some. I did overtrade. I'm not going to lie to myself. Trying to get into some stuff, chasing some entries, and, just did not work out. So we're going to watch these levels. If you are going to continue to trade, let me try and give you some overhead targets for yourself to go. I would be careful on a Friday to stop chopping yourself up like I just did. My big key level was this 829 and a quarter level. You could rotate up to the 900 level, right? That's another level of key psychological area that was the previous breakdown point, as well as a consolidation high. So watch that 17,900 level overhead if you are playing longs. If you're considering shorts, possibly look for that for a fade. You do see a kind of a momentum break on that level there, right? So a breakout of that kind of came down, got failed on that low, and now continuing to break above that 829, 830 level, right? So that's where we were at, that 830. Everything lined up for me as a short, just didn't play out. I'm okay with it. I'll move on Monday, and I'll have a great week next week with no excuses, no reason to get out of here and hang my head for the weekend. I think overall we executed pretty well for the week, except for today. And even on the day that we lost to 500 the other day, we were calling out good levels. We had good executions. We just did not get any follow through, kind of like today. So, I mean, like I said, there's a chance that this does end up rotating down from this 56 level and down through this overnight high back. And then we finally would have got our plan in place. But realistically, seems like it's a Friday grind to the high side. I've noted that. I've said it. I said it here before. I just didn't get a chance to be able to capitalize on it, right? So, yeah, Zuka-san saw that good short there. At least you had that. You were able to see the strategy play out, and then you're also able to see what not to do as far as kind of hammering into some of these trades here and there and not being able to manage your risk properly or whatever. I mean, I managed my risk. I was able to take way more trades than I probably should have moving through the day. So I am going to hop off here at 10 because I do have to run over to the golf course, pick up my wife, get everything broken down over there so we can get out of there so she's tracked. So I'll do better next week and we'll be awesome. Hopefully everybody has a great weekend. Enjoy it. Try your best not to overtrade the rest of the day. If you have already won, secure it, keep it, take it. If you lost some, don't overdo it. Don't try to make it all back in one trade. Stick to your strategy. If it takes some, then don't worry about it. Sorry, my wife's texting me. Alrighty. Yeah, just watch it. Be cautious today. I am going to get off at 10. Next week, we should have a full week of streaming, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 11 every day. Let's finish the month green. Obviously, we are still up quite a bit on the month as far as this account is concerned. We're still up $1,500 on the month. We also took an $800 payout, so we're up over $2,500 on the month. So we're just trying to take this account slow, grow this express funded account as big as we can, and then just take the withdrawals as they come. You can see this price just kind of wants to continue to grind higher. Microsoft still pushing up. NVIDIA probably still pushing up as well. NVDA kind of giving a little double top, but potentially looking to break. Apple breaking the highs. Google pushing lower. Microsoft, once again, like I said, pushing up towards that 412.20, 412 area. So just be cautious on that. I appreciate everybody coming by this week. Our viewership stayed up pretty good. I'm going to get off here today down a little bit larger than we wanted to be. Hopefully Monday we come back and we can make some money back and just take one step at a time, just executing on our plan. Not letting Fridays ruin us is really the key to our success moving forward. So if nobody else has anything, if everybody's hopping off, going to the weekend, I will talk to you all Monday morning, 8:30 Central. I'll see you later. Don't overtrade like I just did. Take a step back, let your executions come, and you'll be fine, right? And like I said, don't let Fridays ruin you. You'll be all right. Till Monday, 8:30. Like I said, peace out.